There are some places so remote that they seem to exist outside of time. Enigmatic pockets of existence where the laws of man simply do not apply. They are lawless lands, uncharted territories, savage sanctuaries where the only law is the law of the wild. It is here where our story begins, in the forgotten embrace of an ancient wood. Time has long since ceased to have any meaning within these woods. It is a timeless expanse of towering trees and tangled undergrowth. Sunlight filters through the dense canopy, painting the forest floor in a mosaic of light and shadow. Here, amidst the moss-covered stones and the whispering trees, our tale unfolds. The boy, who we will call Wren, lived within this forest. Wren was alone. He had no memory of ever having a family or ever having a home other than the forest. He was likely abandoned or lost many years ago, left to face the untamed wilderness and fend for himself against the wild animals and harsh elements. He was just a babe in the woods. But surprisingly, he survived. Over the years, he learned to find food and shelter, to read the signs of the forest and navigate its winding paths. He became one with the rhythm of the wild, the whisper of the wind through the leaves, the babbling of the brook over stones, the rustle of small feet in the undergrowth. He knew all of these things by heart. This was his world, his life, his home. But there was always something else in the woods, something that watched him from afar. When Wren looked up from gathering berries or building a makeshift shelter, he would sometimes catch glimpses of movement in his peripheral vision. He would spin around, but whatever it was gone. All he would find was more trees and undergrowth. There was nothing there at all, or was there? It was until he was old enough to venture deeper into the woods that he started to get closer to the truth. He found wolf droppings, scraps of fur, and the occasional discarded bone. And then he started seeing the wolves themselves. They were big, strong, and beautiful, their fur the color of the night sky sprinkled with stars. Their eyes glowed with an eerie light, eyes that seemed to hold ancient secrets and wisdom. They were majestic predators, perfectly adapted for their environment, and yet they seemed to be watching him. Wren was afraid of them at first. Any animal instincts told him to run from such powerful creatures. Yet there was something about their gaze that held him captive, something that compelled him to stay. Despite his fear, he couldn't help but feel a strange sense of kinship with these wolves. He was alone in this vast wilderness, just as they must have been when they roamed the land in search of prey. He understood their need for solitude, their dependence on the wild. At first, they kept their distance, appearing to him only as fleeting shadows and distant howls. But as the seasons turned and the years rolled by, their behavior began to shift. They started coming closer. Sometimes he would hear their paws on the soft earth as they approached him, their musky scent filling his nostrils. He would freeze, holding his breath, hoping they wouldn't notice him. Yet they always seemed to sense his presence. Then they would stop, their heads cocked, listening intently, as if trying to decipher the sounds around them. When the full moon hung heavy in the night sky, bathing the forest in an ethereal glow, the wolves would draw even closer. Their eyes, twin pools of liquid gold, locked onto his, and he felt a primal connection stir within him. He knew they were communicating with him, sharing their thoughts and feelings, inviting him to join them on their hunts. As the bond between Ren and the wolves deepened, the forest itself seemed to reveal its secrets to him. He began to understand the language of the birds, the rustling leaves, and the babbling brooks. He learned the healing properties of certain plants and the best places to find food and water. The forest, once a place of fear and solitude, became his sanctuary, his teacher, his companion. One evening, as twilight painted the sky in hues of purple and orange, Ren found himself cornered. A group of men with guns and dogs had surrounded him, their faces grim, their intentions clear. He could hear their harsh voices echoing through the trees, their words laced with malice and intent. Fear surged through him, threatening to consume him. As they closed in on him, their dogs snarling and their guns raised, he thought his time had come. Just when he believed all hope was lost, a low growl echoed through the forest. The ground trembled beneath his feet, and the men and their dogs froze, their heads turning towards the sound. From the depths of the woods emerged the wolves, their eyes blazing with fury, their teeth bared in a silent snarl. They were a formidable sight, their fur bristling, their muscles tensed, ready to defend their own. The leader of the men cursed under his breath, his eyes narrowing. He raised his gun, its cold metal glinting in the fading light. "Get back, you damn wolf!" he shouted, his voice echoing with anger. Before he could pull the trigger, a bullet whizzed past his ear, embedding itself in the tree beside him. The men and their dogs scattered, their earlier confidence evaporating in the face of the wolves' unwavering defense. They fled into the safety of the forest, their shouts and the barking of dogs fading into the darkness. Once they were gone, the wolves approached Ren, their growls softening into gentle whines. They nudged him with their wet noses, their eyes filled with concern. He could feel their warmth, their strength, their wild spirit enveloping him, offering comfort and protection. In that moment, Ren realized he was not truly alone. He had the wolves, their loyalty and love, their fierce determination to protect him. He belonged to them, and they were his family now. As the years passed, Ren grew older, his bond with the wolves deepening with each passing season. They shared their meals, their hunts, their lives with him. He learned to track deer and rabbits, to fight off bears and wolves, to survive in the harshest of winters. He became one of them, a member of the pack, a child of the wild. Yet a part of him still remembered the world beyond the trees. The world of human beings, of towns and villages, of roads and cars. Sometimes he wondered what lay beyond the horizon, if there was a place for him in that world. One day, as the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting long shadows through the trees, the wolves began to stir. A fire had broken out beyond the trees, its flames licking hungrily at the dry underbrush. The wolves let out a chorus of howls, their voices echoing the alarm. They were agitated, uneasy, protective. Wren felt a surge of fear mixed with determination. He knew he had to act. They reached a small clearing where several tents had been set up. "Help me!" the woman cried out, her voice trembling. "Please help us!" They helped the woman and the girl escape the burning tents, guiding them to safety beyond the reach of the flames. Finally, when they reached a safe distance from the fire, the wolves stopped and turned to look back at the inferno, their eyes blazing with determination. Wren knew what they were thinking. They wanted to go back and help anyone who had been left behind. Despite his admiration for their courage, Wren also knew the danger that lay ahead. "It's too late," he said softly, his voice filled with regret. "We can't go back now." The wolves seemed to understand his words, and with a final mournful howl, they turned and followed Wren deeper into the forest. Back in the sanctuary of the woods, Wren felt a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing that he had helped those in need. But a part of him couldn't help but wonder about the world beyond the trees, the world he had been a part of before he became one with the wild. He missed the warmth of human touch, the sound of human voices, the taste of human food. He missed the simplicity of human life, the ease with which he could communicate with them, share stories and laughter around a fire. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, a change began to come over Wren. He started venturing further from the pack, exploring the forest alone. He would climb to the highest peaks, gazing at the distant mountains, wondering what lay beyond the familiar trees. He would stand by the river, listening to its flowing waters, dreaming of far-off lands. The wolves noticed his restlessness, his yearning for something beyond the forest. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of red and gold, the wolves gathered around Wren. Wren looked back at them, his heart aching. He knew in that moment that he could not stay. His journey had brought him full circle. He had found his place in the wild, but his path now lay beyond the trees. With a heavy heart, he stood up, his gaze lingering on the pack. He took a step back, then another, the distance between him and the wolves growing with each movement. He could feel their sorrow, their confusion, their silent farewell. As he walked away from the pack, he heard their mournful howls echoing through the forest, their voices carrying his name on the wind. He kept walking, not daring to look back, his footsteps echoing in the stillness of the night. He carried with him the lessons of the wild, the resilience, the independence, the profound connection with nature. Did the boy become one of the wolves? Ah! Or was he never meant to return to the world of men? For the forest holds many secrets, and the path of the wild is never easy.